Captain's log, stardate 54-4.
Meow.
Bones, can't you keep that thing quiet?
Sorry, Jim. Doesn't like the cage.
Captain's log, stardate 5440. We have been assigned to...
Meow.
Bones!
All right, Jim. I'll take it down to sickbay and house it with our experimental animals. Just remember, I was prepared to treat an ambassador, not to babysit an ill-tempered tabby.
I understand, Bones. We're all upset about it.
Yeoman, give me a hand with this, will you, please?
Yes, sir.
I confess, Captain, that for a change, I find myself empathizing with Dr. McCoy. This is a considerable disappointment.
For me, too, Spock. Captain's log, stardate 5440. The Enterprise has been ordered to transport the pet Moauv of the Moavian ambassador from Centaurus base to his home world of Moauv. We are proceeding on course as rapidly as possible. Mr. Sulu.
Captain?
How long till orbit insertion around Moauv?
Approximately 2 standard weeks, 6 hours, 30 minutes, sir.
2 weeks. Removing a Starfleet cruiser from commission for 2 weeks just to pamper someone's pet.
It does seem rather extraordinary, Captain, but then the Moavian situation is extremely delicate. At the moment, they are neutral. But since they lie near both the Federation and the Klingon Empire, it seems certain they will eventually ally themselves with one or the other. The Moavians are an advanced, logical people.
Logical? Do you call the Moavian ambassador's concern over his pet logical?
Logic and affection are not necessarily mutually exclusive, Captain. I speak from personal experience. I had a pet Sailot once that...
Maybe so, Spock, but when you expect to play host to a full ambassador and find yourself carrying a cross between a nervous bobcat and a furry lizard... Kirk here.
Jim, you were worried about this being a dull trip?
What's happened, Bones?
Yeoman Prentice and I were moving the Moauv into sickbay. We bumped into a wall making the turn, and apparently the Moauv panicked. We dropped the cage, and the blasted latch broke. The Moauv got out.
Got out? All right. Where is it now?
That's the trouble, Jim. We don't know. You know how timid it's been since the Moavian crew sent it aboard. When the latch went, it took off down the corridor like a shot.
You let it get away, Doctor.
Who's that? Spock? Listen, Spock, that thing's got claws as long as my middle finger. I'm a doctor, not an animal trainer. Not that we didn't try. Prentice took a dive at it. His arm should stop bleeding any minute now.
For the Horsehead Nebula, what next? Okay, Bones, stay where you are. Mr. Spock.
Captain?
Take a security crew or 2 down there. Use nets. We'll have an interstellar incident on our hands if that Moauv is hurt.
Yes, Captain.
Uhura, broadcast a warning for all hands to keep an eye out for the animal. Most of them have seen pictures of it. Seal all decks above and below sickbay. At least we can keep it in one area.
Very good, Captain.
Put me on the intercom. I'll do it myself.
This is the captain speaking. The Moavian Moauv, the pet of the Moavian ambassador to the Federation, has escaped. It's loose somewhere near sickbay. Yeoman Prentice has already been injured attempting to recapture it. I want no more such injuries. Anyone sighting the creature is to contact security immediately. Make no attempt to approach it. Kirk out.
Where did you last see it, Doctor?
Took the branch to the left, Spock. I don't think it went too far. It's probably cowering in a dark corner somewhere nearby, waiting for kindly old Spock to pick it up.
Oh, Mr. Spock.
Yes, Yeoman?
See this arm? If you're going to pick it up, do it carefully.
I'll... Remember that, Yeoman.
Spock? Did I just hear you yowl?
Yowl? Dr. McCoy, meow, sure I don't know what you're talking about.
There, you did it again.
Really, Doctor, I hardly think this is the time for levity. You with the nets, stand ready. Half of the group will scan each room, while the rest of you block any exit. Clear?
Aye,
All right, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Prentice, did you hear it too?
Hear what?
Is that so? You better pay more attention, Yeoman, or you'll never rise above. Good Hippocrates. Did I just growl at you, Prentice?
Meow! Holy reaction! Me too!
Captain?
What is it, Lieutenant?
I'm getting some very strange reports from sickbay level.
In what way strange?
Well, sir, there are several reports of fights breaking out among the crew.
Fighting?
Yes, sir, but that's not what's so peculiar. The voices of those reporting in, they tend to be... I thought it might be static, but not on every channel. Tend to sound like snarling, sir.
Easy, Lieutenant. Those kinds of reports can upset anyone.
It's true, sir. They sound almost cat-like. Wait a second. Here's another one.
Put it on the bridge speakers, Lieutenant.
This is Security Officer Gibson reporting. Captain, I need help down here. Discipline is breaking down throughout this level, I think. Get away from me!
Gibson, this is the captain speaking. Report. That's enough, Lieutenant. Keep monitoring all calls. Refer them to security.
Aye, sir.
What do you make of it, Mr. Sulu?
I don't know, sir. I never heard anything quite like it.
Lieutenant Uhura, locate Mr. Spock. I want to find out what's going on down.
That won't be necessary, Captain.
That you, Mr. Spock? What in heaven's name happened?
Happened, Captain? Oh, you mean these scratches?
Scratches? Spock, your arms. The upper half of your uniform.
It's difficult to say precisely, Captain. We thought we detected the crying of the Moauv in a small storage chamber. I set a cordon of men with nets to block off the only entrance. We started to go in after it when...
Yes, Spock?
I'm not sure. I experienced a sudden desire to run, to hide. It was fear, but not in the logical sense. It was entirely instinctive and irrational. I found myself striking out around me, desperately. The others were doing the same. I saw everything through a red haze. Something was telling me I had to get away, get out.
Spock, are you all right?
I'm okay now, Captain. The influence seems to grow weaker as you move away from it.
What influence?
That, Captain, is exactly what I'd like to know.
Captain,
I told you to hold any further reports of conflict, Lieutenant.
This isn't a combat report, sir. It's Dr. McCoy.
Bones, put him through.
Jim, what's going on? I've got cases of lacerations and bruises piling up down here faster than Chappell and I can treat them. Some of the injured are violent. I'm having a hard time keeping them under sedation.
Bones, did you just snarl?
I guess I must have, Jim. Spock didn't notice it right away either. There's something that sneaks into your mind.
Can you describe it?
Some influence overpowers your emotions and thoughts. The sole urge is to strike out and run in blind panic. That's it. Panic.
How about the source?
I believe there is only one logical possibility, Captain.
Just a minute, Bones. What, Mr. Spock?
We are being subjected to a mass telepathic projection of considerable raw power. A projection emphasizing panic and fear. There is only one entity aboard which could be expected to be experiencing such feelings. The Moavian Moauv.
Bones, did you?
I heard, Jim, and I wish somebody would do something about it fast. The thing's strength seems to be increasing. Our latest cases are requiring heavier and heavier sedation.
Do the best you can, Bones. I'll get back to you. Suggestions, Mr. Spock?
We have little information on Moauv and less on this creature. I recommend contacting the Waul's owner for instructions.
The ambassador? Spock, you know I can't do that. Moauv is a diplomatic flashpoint. If we get in touch with them and confess we can't even handle a single pet, what are they going to think of our capabilities?
More than they will if we never arrive.
What do you mean, Spock?
I can feel it again, Captain. The influence. Dr. McCoy is right, as far as he goes. As the violence around it increases, the Moauv becomes more frightened. The more frightened it becomes, the stronger its defensive projection grows. We could lose control of the Enterprise.
You really think it could go that far, Spock?
You see, Captain, soon even coherent speech will become impossible.
Lieutenant Uhura, contact Moauv. Get us through to the ambassador to the Federation.
Do it yourself, Captain.
Uhura!
I'm sorry, sir. Something just...
Forget it.
I have contact, sir.
Put him on the screen.
This is Ambassador Moauv speaking. Your trip is proceeding pleasantly, Captain?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Ambassador. We have a bit of a problem. Your pet was accidentally set loose on board a little while ago.